just became the first former president to become a convicted felon.
Um, Honestly, if you've ever held the office of president of the United States under capitalism, you need to be you need to be indicted, convicted, and redacted maybe. Because like if you've been president of the United States, you've been complicit in some type of crime. Yes, I don't have a hat on by the way, because you know what? Fuck that. You gotta bask in my beautiful brown egg-shaped head. I'm not putting on a hat to spare you guys' blushes. So, anyways, Trump is going to be sentenced on July 11th. Is he going to prison? Probably not. As a matter of fact, definitely not. Because if they send this guy to prison, what it's going to do is set a precedent. And they do not want rich and powerful people going to prison. They don't want former presidents going to prison because they know that if they start that slippery slope, what's going to happen is everybody's going to start going to jail. Everybody's going to start demanding trials for people because of the various war crimes and other fuck shit they've committed. And it's not going to be a good time. What has happened today is that the system of American bourgeois justice has been undermined. More and more people are starting to see that this shit is a joke. Okay, it's a big, fat, fucking joke. Or as George R.R. Martin would say, a mummer's farce. And he immediately, of course, hopped on Truth Social and started whining, complaining about how, I'm a victim, I'm a political prisoner. No, Leonard Peltier is a political prisoner. Mumia Abu Jabal is a political prisoner. You didn't when you were president, you didn't lift a fucking finger to free these guys, but now because something has happened to you, you're a fucking victim. You're a fucking victim. No, you were found guilty because you're guilty of not just this. And Comrade Al Maki on Twitter reminded us that the Yemeni government, Ansar Allah, literally sentences dude to death for war crimes. So 12 Manhattan jurors unanimously convicted him on 34 counts of falsifying business records. White collar shit. Over a 6-week trial, the court heard from 22 witnesses, including Stormy Daniels, whose alleged sexual encounter with the former president was at the center of the case. So basically, Trump was paying her hush money, and then he finagled the paperwork to try to cover up what he did. Trump, of course, called the verdict a disgrace. Jesus, he's 77 years old. Eesh. Also, I would caution you guys against like openly calling for the redaction of current or former high government officials. I'd really hate to see one of you all getting a fucking on your door from the fucking Secret Service, okay? Like they take that shit very seriously. So don't even joke about stuff like that because yeah, I don't know how like stable you guys' minds are, but I guarantee you, like when those types of people start leaning on you, the fucking black suit and shades brigade, it's not gonna be a good time. So yeah, he concealed the payment that he made to buy the silence of this porn star in the final days of his 2016 election campaign. So typical white collar shit. He's not the first politician to hand out hush money. He's not the first politician to lie about hush money. He is the first politician, the first president to be convicted of it. So, but like I said, Trump is not going to go to jail. They're not going to let Trump go to jail. Alvin Bragg, the district attorney for the District of Manhattan, declined to comment on whether he would seek a prison term for Trump. And of course, this guy's a Democrat, and Trump walked out of court and accused this guy of being Soros funded, which, as we know, is an anti Semitic dog whistle. And I know MAGA communists are so fucking pressed right now. Because, like, they don't like criminals. Like, this is your boy. This is your boy, and now he's a criminal. But you all, like, campaign and posture that you all stand so high and mighty above the disgusting lumpen proletariat. Like, Haas was going off and complaining about homeless people a couple years ago. Like, these people are fucking deranged. Oh, thank you for the hug. What 6 portraits are going in my White House? Mao Zedong, Malcolm X, Nat Turner, W.B. Du Bois, Assata Shakur, and George Jackson. Would I consider adding Joe Hill? No, there are no white people in my White House. African American traditional folk religion, hoodoo. A lot of younger people, like a lot of people my age, are really getting into this. Like, I'm really into it. I wouldn't call myself a conjurman. I wouldn't call myself a conjure doctor, but I have a high John the Conqueror root. Keep it in my sock. Take it with me everywhere. And I mean, it's a direct connection to my ancestors, and I love it. I was beefing with this dude in Buffalo. Well, not beefing, but uh, so it basically started when he said, I actually just got off the phone with Ryan, but Ryan was like saying yesterday that he doesn't like the fact that a lot of people see Hamas as something to look up to. He basically, he's a reformist, okay? He's a decent dude, even though I've called him many racial slurs pertaining to white people over the past couple days. But he's a decent dude. Like, most DSA people are not evil people. But we differ widely in our conceptions of a like what revolutionary politics looks like. So he basically considers people who sit around and watch Hamas videos all day to be LARPers. And see, the thing is, like, armed struggle, revolutionary just armed struggle, is a lot more compelling and a lot more easy for people to understand the utility of, especially colonized people like myself, than phone banking and canvassing for people like Jamal Bowman and AOC. Like, first of all, both of them suck. Do I hope that they like lose horribly? No, because I don't want Republicans in office. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind that these people are duplicitous. These people are politicians. These people will lie to you. So we should not put all of our hopes and dreams in the pocket of a politician that runs on log rolling and backroom deals. When you do that, what you're engaging in is turning away from the proletarian revolution and what we call right opportunism, which basically holds that struggling within the master's house with the master's tools is the only way to go. That is no good. A message from Gaza. We do not just want your eyes on Rafah. We want your foot on Israel's neck. Organize and escalate. What is this? Like, why do people, for one, why do people target people with blue hair so much? You could dye your hair any color you want. But this person, this is this the labor wave dude? He's a MAGA communist psycho now. And he says that blue hairs and other dysgenic perverts will be subjected to repression and mass arrests under our regime. Hashtag be normal. No, the fuck you're not. You're not going to arrest people because they have blue hair. And this is honestly like thinly veiled transphobia. That's what this is. The blue hairs and the so-called dysgenic perverts will be armed, and you will be expelled from the party if you're allowed in the party in the first place, and arrested for attempting to unjustly use the instruments of the proletarian dictatorship to oppress and violate the rights of the people. You can't just lock people up for being who they are like it's not against the law. Is this Hillary Clinton? It's not against the law to have fucking blue hair. It's not against the law to be trans. It's that like unlimited brutality. Like, these people have to be out in op. Like, if the notion of a communist in the minds of the average American is a regime of unlimited brutality and locking up people for no fucking reason, why the fuck would you make shit like this? Now you're gonna have dozens of kids, tens of thousands of kids, whoever the fuck was unfortunate enough to see this atrocity. Now you're gonna have people thinking that, okay, I don't want to be a commie because they're going to fuck with me because I have blue hair. This is insane. Andrew Tate using the hard R and donating $200,000 to his hard R Trump. Wasn't he supposed to be donating that same amount to Palestine last week? I don't think he has. I don't even think he has $200,000 to give. I don't think he has $200,000 to give. You can tell that Jackson Hinkle doesn't regularly talk to women in real life because if you go up to a woman and say, "You disgust me," he actually called a black Dominican woman a whore. And if you walk up to a person in real life, if you walk up to any woman in real life and say that, she's going to slap the shit out of you at the very least. This is how I know this dude does not talk to women in real life. This is from We Go Where They Go, the story of anti-racist action. I've been plotting through this book for the past couple weeks. Did you guys know that there was a literal war over abortion access in Canada, in the United States, between 1977 and 2008? Yeah. Between 1977 and 2008, there have been 7 murders, 17 attempted murders, 41 bombings, 175 arsons, 96 attempted bombings and arsons, 385 cases of invasion, 1,358 cases of vandalism, 1,833 cases of trespassing, 100 butyric acid attacks, 658 anthrax attacks. Yeah, 658 anthrax attacks. 171 cases of assault and battery, 399 death threats, 4 kidnappings, 140 cases of burglary, and 506 stalking cases. The highest number of murders, 4, and attempted murders, 8, for any single year took place in 1994, the year I was born, during the Clinton era when the abortion wars were at their peak. That is insane. That is like that is fucking barbaric. There is a literal war over the right of women to control what happened with their own bodies. Who are you voting for? I have 1,147 votes. 7.7% say they're voting for Biden. You fucking morons. 3.1% say they're voting for Trump. You fucking uber morons. 50.6 very intelligent people say that they are not voting, and 38.6 stupid motherfuckers say that they're voting for some loser third party. Why would you vote for a motherfucker that has no chance in hell of winning? Don't be like this idiot. James Alexander Malcolm Caldwell. He was a Scottish academic and a prolific Marxist writer. He was a consistent critic of American foreign policy, a campaigner for Asian communist and socialist movements, and a supporter of the Khmer Rouge. Caldwell was murdered under mysterious circumstances a few hours after meeting Pol Pot in Cambodia. I wonder why. So he was staying at this guest house. He had just come from Pol Pot, and the article goes on to say, alternatively, 4 of the guards at the guest house were arrested, and 2 of them confessed after torture at the Khmer Rouge's S-21 Tuol Sleng. It was basically a school that they turned into a giant torture facility. That the killers were subversives attempting to undermine the Khmer Rouge regime, and that Caldwell was killed to prevent the party from gathering friends in the world. 3 days after Caldwell was killed, the Vietnamese invaded Cambodia and soon put an end to the Khmer Rouge government. Becker said that Malcolm Caldwell's death was caused by the madness of the regime he openly admired. This guy was so smart, he was dumb. Why the fuck would you go to fucking Pol Pot's Cambodia? Why? What the fuck would you go to Pol Pot's Cambodia for? I tried to boycott everything from Italians, but this was too funny to not share.
What the guy? You just made me drop my dunks.
Take it easy, Boondock Saint.
You know, the Chicago Marathon's not till October. What's with the tracksuit?
Yeah, where's your cute little skirt? You forget it at home?
Yeah, coming from a guy who looks like a Sopranos extra.
Yeah, I'd be miserable too if my dinner was potatoes and cabbage.
Shouldn't you be watching a Jersey Shore Marathon or something?
Smells like you brushed your teeth with Guinness this morning.
Irish car bombs, actually.
Oh, that's cultural appropriation. We're the ones who put bombs in cars first.
Yeah, and now you drink
They also invented a drive-by.
$9 cappuccinos and talk with your hands.
We got Christopher Columbus.
Boo!
Who do you got, Braveheart?
Braveheart was Scottish, dumbass. We got St. Patrick.
Oh, right, the patron saint of blacking out.
Yes,
I also think that St. Patrick was Welsh, wasn't he?
as a matter of fact, he is. I'm going to be praying to him tonight next to my porcelain shrine.
When's the last time you were sober? 1998?
Let me ask you something. When you cut yourself, what comes out, like ragu sauce?
Why don't you go find your 4-leaf clover and Aaron go yourself?
Aren't you late for your Olive
White people and their ethnic humor is so fucking lame.
Garden reservation?
Hey, can one of you guys help me change this light bulb?
What kind of stew not can't change a light bulb?
Yeah, you don't exactly got to be Einstein there, pal.
Wait a second, are you Polish?
Yeah, how'd you know?
All this needs is like 3 black dudes to show up and boom, instant race riot.
I can see the
Remember when the executive director of San Jose's police union was charged with importing fentanyl? Black Red Guard remembers. Wait, is Kamala Harris in chat? Soldiers in Ukraine say U.S. supplied tanks have made them targets for Russian strikes. I mean, you are using 30-year-old fucking hand-me-downs. What do you expect? I think that I should be president. I think that I should be president. Like, I would actually do some good shit for people. Plus, it'd be funny. Reparations. Every other race in a nation and territory simply organize and pressure the government, and in return, they get money. Okay. So, why would white people in the United States give black people money? Like, how exactly is that going to happen? Like, we really don't have all that much political power in this country. How exactly are we going to get white people to give us money? Maybe if we organize and arm ourselves and seize power, we can destroy capitalism and we can avenge our ancestors at the same time. Like, I don't want blood money. There's no way you're gonna cut me $50,000 check and that is going to make up for all the fuck shit that y'all have done to my ancestors or the fuck shit that you've done to people of my generation. It's not going to happen. If somebody can buy you, it's not going to, they're not going to respect you. I understand where the brother is coming from. I definitely understand where Comrade is coming from, but it's not gonna, no. Why would white people give us money? Why would white people give us reparations? They're not going to. They hold all the cards. This is their system. So the only way to get satisfaction for the crimes that our ancestors faced is to destroy this capitalist system. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is, yeah, they might cut us 500, 5,000, shit, 50,000 bucks. But all that's going to happen is it's going to go right back into their system. Political prisoner. I'm a political prisoner. I was just convicted in a rigged political witch hunt trial. I did nothing wrong. They raided my home, arrested me, took my mugshot, and now they've convicted me. You know, this is, the MAGA communists are actually trying to talk like this guy. It makes sense to me now. They're actually trying to copy Trump. That's why they all write and talk like fucking 3-year-olds. Hey, we were talking about Leonard Peltier earlier.
So there's a hearing set for June 10th, 2024. And in that parole hearing, we're gonna argue all the different things that we have always argued about Leonard's release. But we're going to have extra emphasis too on his health. You know, he's really unhealthy at the present time. He's, about 80% blind in one eye. And there's some kind of blockage happening where he's periodically going blind in the other eye too. And he's not receiving medical attention. And so we've done a lot of work to create a re-entry plan for him to come back to. He made it really clear he wanted to go back to his homelands in Turtle Mountain, because he's enrolled at the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, and so we have been working with the tribe up there, and making sure that he has services that
I banned him. He will not be troubling you anymore.
that available to him when he comes back home. We helped arrange a home for him, so he has a home to come back to. So we've done things to help strengthen his parole application, to be able to come home and back to his community and back to his movement. We suspect that there's going to be heavy opposition by the FBI.
The FBI is actually part of the reason why, like, he hasn't been released yet. Like, they've released several dozen political prisoners from his time, but they hate Leonard Peltier so much because the movement that he represented, that he was a part of, the American Indian movement, like, it was powerful. Like, these people literally went to Washington, D.C. and stole file cabinets full of documents from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. I use that term because that's what it's called, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Like, they literally went and they took it back to their respective reservations, and they made copies. So the FBI hated these people. You also had the Wounded Knee uprising, which took place in '73 and was a weeks-long standoff. between several federal government law enforcement agencies, along with Dickie Wilson's goons, guardians of the Oglala Nation. Yes, he literally called his death squad, armed with M16s surplus from Vietnam by Richard Nixon. He literally called these people goons. Dick Wilson was the corrupt tribal chief of the band of Pine Ridge Reservation Sioux that were involved in this. But anyways, so yeah, the FBI, every time he's up for parole, they show up and they fuck with him and they fuck with his parole, and then he ends up locked up for the rest of his life. But hopefully this time he gets released.
Both retired FBI Agents Association and other folks who have built this, illegal and false narrative about him to try to keep him in there, because if it was up to them, that he would die in prison. And so this parole hearing, at 79 years old.
He's only 2 years older than Trump.
Could be his last parole hearing. And so this is a historic situation, and we're fighting really hard. And I think that the collective of lawyers that have been working on this have provided and built a really good parole packet. And we're making sure that we are able to make the strongest case possible for Leonard to come home back to his people.
I really hope he gets it. Like, no 79-year-old man needs to be in fucking prison. Jackson Hinkle asks, Poll, you are facing a death sentence before a judge, but the judge is on her period. Are you okay with this? What are you talking about? What is the point of asking this stupid ass question? Are you on your period? Remove female judges. Jackson Hinkle should be redacted. He should be all three. Feed him the wolves, put him on the wall, and then quarter him. Like, who says shit like this? One officer got killed today in Minneapolis. It was some type of mass shooting. Apparently it started with a domestic altercation in an apartment or something. Honestly, I first thought that it had something to do with one of the maggots acting a fool because Trump was convicted, but turns out to just be some domestic bullshit. So Trump supporters are apt to lash out at the closest gathering of liberals and communists that they can find. In most cities, that's going to be pro-Palestine solidarity events. So I encourage people to prepare themselves for that possibility because they actually give a fuck. Like, this isn't a joke. Like, people think that these people are goofy or a joke or something. Like, no, these people will actually hurt you. Ask the people who survived the Greensboro massacre. Ask the Charlestown shooting victims. Ask the people who survived the Buffalo Top supermarket shooting. Ask anybody who's dealt with this shit. Ask people who were at Charlottesville. Like, these people literally hurt you. If you despise the enemy, both strategically and tactically, the enemy is going to turn around and fuck you up. And to avoid getting fucked up, you have to take these people seriously, and you have to prepare like people like nothing ever happens. You're supposed to prepare before shit happens. Michael Rappaport's best role was when he was on screen for 30 seconds just to suffer and die. I definitely agree. Fuck you, Knight Titus. But my advice is, like, you have to start having a security cadre at your events and meetings. Start taking security seriously in general. Like, these fascists, these Trump supporters, these reactionaries, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they see a publicly announced event. They see a bunch of people hanging out at a bar or at a park getting ready to canvass or going to do a picnic or something. You're making a nice fat target for them. Like, I remember back around 2019, 2021, the Gonzaloites, they used to troll for DSA events so that they could come wreck them and disrupt them. They were successful in wrecking and disrupting events because people did not secure their shit. Fascists will do the same thing, except they're more liable to bring guns. You have to take this stuff seriously. It's not live action role play. This is protecting your lives and your comrades' lives. Reactionaries are paper tigers. But also, they have another aspect. They're also real tigers that have real teeth that will bite the shit out of you if you let them. I'm also calling this, Trump is going to lean on his new felon status to posture himself as a victim of the criminal justice system to try to get clout with young street dudes, and it's going to halfway work. Like, I see a lot of TikToks. A lot of these street dudes are already backing Trump. Of course, many of them can't vote because, depending on the state, if you're a convicted felon, you can't vote. And unfortunately, a lot of these dudes, because of the circumstances in which they're forced to live, do have felonies, so they can't vote. But Trump already has a street team. DSA needs cracker control. The DSA right knows how to meme. Point of view, you are Donald Trump. A former president was arrested yesterday in streets lined with citrus trees did not uproot from Berkeley and replant themselves in East Oakland. And no police-involved grave sites unsettled themselves. And my granny's house got no closer to a grocery store. And no less poor people were captured for recreational habits induced by capitalism. And no electoral actors were handcuffed for war crimes because it was just art. And Biden bought new laces for a boot on Palestine's neck, and 1,000 nonprofit diversity consultants sang about progress, and the police they funded shot 1,000 more people this year, and America recalled none of its military bases, and the Bush family breathed a sigh of relief, and imperialism is a game of sacrificial scapegoats, and the longer we revel in slaughter, the more ritual it all seems, and a win is a win, so don't ruin the moment, said the zipper to the pinched skin. And the National Guard heard I wasn't happy, so they shot at my feet, and so I jumped for joy and twisted my ankle and went to the doctor and got the bill, and now I can't even afford to pay attention, much less pay the rent. Okay, keep calling Trump supporters pussies that have no balls. When they come to whatever little protest you're at, and in a big ass pickup, and they floor the accelerator, and they run over your comrades in front of your eyes, remember, they were pussies that don't have any balls. Just because somebody's is a coward, they may not fight. They may not get out of the car and fight. Why would they do that? They've got a weapon. They've got a big ass car. Take these people seriously. Take these people seriously. Like, did the first Trump administration teach you all nothing? Speaking of the first Trump administration, there will be a second Trump administration. So prepare yourself for that. He's not going to jail, and he's going to be reelected. So prepare yourself for that. And in the meantime, watch out for unruly Trump cultists this summer. They've already demonstrated that they don't take L's well. You should learn how to take L's well. You know the best way to learn how to take an L? Don't take L's. Strive for the W. I'm back, Redguard.